This week, the Austin City Council could completely change the way taxicab companies operate within the capital city.
The struggling industry looks to rebound from the pandemic, but as KXAN's Daniel Marin reports, at least one cab company is against the idea on the table.
We're totally opposing this proposal.
Hassan Aruri is the owner of Central City Taxi, one of only 3 cab companies still operating within the city of Austin. He says thanks but no thanks to a plan by the Austin Transportation Department to deregulate local cab companies. You see, right now cab companies are considered public utilities, so they must secure franchise agreements with the city. Austin Transportation wants to instead let taxis operate the same way limos, pedicabs, and scooters do, with less oversight and less red tape. Aruri says he would rather control stay with the full city council, not just the transportation department.
We're trying to protect this industry, okay, or what's left of it, by making sure that the rules are not in the hands of only few individuals.
This is not the case.
During a presentation last month, Austin transportation officials said the proposal would make it easier to get more cab companies up and running and more taxis on the road, especially ahead of the spring festival season.
Understand some of the concerns that have been raised.
Austin City Council member Kathy Tovo hasn't made up her mind on the issue, but says she recognizes the taxi industry needs all the help it can get after the 1-2 punch from the arrival of rideshare companies and then the pandemic.
In fact, the last time I called for one to go to the airport in the middle of the night, it didn't arrive. And I called back the company, they said they didn't have anybody to fulfill that order. So, we really need to do what we can do to sustain the taxi cab industry.
Daniel Marin, KXAN News.
The City Council will discuss the proposal in a work session coming up tomorrow. It's scheduled to go before the full council for a vote on Thursday. And as for rideshare companies like Lyft and Uber, as of 2018, they're regulated by the state, not the city.
For some perspective, according to the Associated Press, Uber is bouncing back from its pandemic losses. The AP says in 2020, the company's focus shifted from ride sharing to food delivery. That portion of the business now makes up nearly half of their revenue. And while that number is up, it could soon change. Uber says more people are catching a ride. In the last 3 months of last year, it saw an increase of nearly 23%, or about 1.1 billion rides. But it's worth mentioning here that that number is still down from its pre-pandemic mark of close to 2 billion trips in 2019.